2 years ago, when Matthew and I stumbled into the hot, humid Singapore airport terminal, after our 21-hour flight from the Missionary Training Center, we thought we knew everything there was to know about missionary work. We soon realized that on a scale from 0 to knowing everything, we were, unfortunately, much closer to 0. Yes, our teenage selves went to mission prep class. Yes, we spent many weeks in the MTC. Yes, we read our scriptures. And yes, we said our prayers. But looking back, there was so little we knew about what being a missionary in the field actually entailed. Since then, we have asked ourselves many times, why weren't we prepared? Had we not paid attention to mission prep class? Had we not read our scriptures enough? Were our prayers not sincere? While these questions are of utmost priority, we later realized they weren't the real reasons we felt unprepared. We were spiritually prepared. We had honest personal testimonies and desires to be great missionaries. What we lacked was a vision of who great modern-day missionaries are, and the mental, emotional, and social skills they must possess. It's easy to think of great missionary examples. Think of Jonah being swallowed by a whale, Ammon cutting off people's arms, and Joseph Smith being tarred and feathered. It's much harder to imagine them today, wearing white shirts and ties while riding bikes or driving cars. Certainly, Ammon and many others' stories would have looked different had they operated under today's standards. So how can we gain a vision of how Ammon and others would act today? And where can we learn the skills that they would likely use now? Fortunately, they are all found in Preach My Gospel. The best thing a teenager preparing for a mission can do is to read and internalize Preach My Gospel. All the skills and techniques we talk about are in that book. Plus, it's written by the greatest 21st century missionary examples we have, our living apostles and prophets. Now, why write another book when Preach My Gospel already exists? Well, when we were 17 years old, we tried what we just suggested. That is, to read and internalize Preach My Gospel. Unfortunately, as teenagers, we found it dense and boring, which stemmed from a lack of context. As teenagers, how are we supposed to develop the faith to find without actually having tried to find? God's holy prophets and apostles wrote Preach My Gospel as a manual for missionaries currently serving, not necessarily for missionaries preparing to serve. Our book's purpose is to break Preach My Gospel down into small, applicable bites for preparing missionaries. For us, it took nearly a full year of missionary service before we could even begin to pinpoint the mental, emotional, and social skills that great modern-day missionaries possess. In other words, we want to save you from spending a year deciphering these skills. We want to give you the jump start we never had. In doing so, we know that you will bring many more souls unto Christ, develop a stronger testimony of His restored church, and honestly have more fun. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, yes, I want to go on a mission, but is missionary work actually fun? I can think of many more things that sound more fun. And that's okay. When we began our missions, we had those same feelings. So let's ask an easier question. Do you think God has fun doing missionary work? Of course He does. His sole purpose is to bring to pass the immortality and eternal life of man. And trust us, He's happy doing it. If we think about it, He's been doing it for an eternity, so He'd better love it. When we started our missions, we could have thought of a million things that sounded like more fun than missionary work. But as time passed, we realized we would honestly rather have done missionary work than watched an NBA game, The Bachelorette, or anything else. That's not to say that the NBA or Bachelorette got any more boring. We still enjoy both of them, but missionary work simply became much more interesting, meaningful, and fulfilling. Now don't get us wrong, missions are hard. There may be difficult wards and branches, annoying companions, challenging areas, long transfers, and complicated languages to learn. But hard and fun are not mutually exclusive. They can coexist. You might be wondering what exactly you're going to learn from this book, besides how to have fun. Instead of randomly picking topics, we took a survey of over 600 returned missionaries to find out what the hardest part of their mission was. The most common responses to the question, what was the hardest part of your mission, was, number 1, difficult companions, number 2, talking to strangers, number 3, finding people to teach, number 4, daily planning, and number 5, mental health. This book will address each of these topics and more, and help you understand what you need now to succeed on your mission.